Hey, welcome to Conversations with My Cuz. I am Shayla Shay.
It is me, your girl Michelle with the 1L.
And I'm Brother Love, DJ Big Rob.
You about to play some
What's up,
sounds,
y'all?
Ron? You sound like you thought you was about to do some clapping. You want me to clap for you?
What's going
What's
on,
go-
ladies?
what is going on? That's exactly what I
What's
want to know.
popping? What is
What's
What's been
popping? How
popping?
was
happening?
y'all weekend? How was y'all weekend? How was y'all week?
It's
Ah, you go first.
my
Um,
weekend is good. I'm just trying to figure out why we're not online and I don't see us. Do you see us?
Okay, I do not.
well,
I
people
don't.
online are saying hello, so we on time. How
Somebody
about
seen us.
No,
that?
that's because Keisha on YouTube. We only on YouTube right now, but okay, I guess that's what we're gonna have to
let
be.
let the man on the couch do his job. He knows his job. He knows his
Yeah,
job.
We gonna make it happen. I think he need to be the one to put it on our page, right? While we
it's
sitting
not
here, so we can.
on the show. Okay, it's not there at all. Is what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Okay, well, I guess we YouTubing it then. How about
Yeah, we
that?
on YouTube though.
Okay. So what else is
Anyway,
happening?
what's popping,
What's
y'all?
What's going on? Ain't nothing, ain't nothing. How was y'all week though? I'm trying to find out. Where's the energy? What we done did? I'm trying to get in y'all business.
What did I do? Well, it's Mother's Day today, so I've been out with my
Hey.
boys. I went out with my sons. They divided and conquered. One got me on Friday, the other one got me on Saturday. Then I took myself out today. So,
You
celebrating
balling.
motherhood. Happy Mother's Day, Shell.
Happy Mother's Day, Shay. I'm here. I didn't do much today. I just was home chilling, relaxing. One is one kid is in Houston, one is in New York. She said she's gonna come next week and then we'll go do something. So I'm
It's
okay
hard
with that.
today.
Well,
It's
all
hard
right, all
today. Yeah.
right.
So what
Yeah,
about
yeah.
you, Ra? How was your week?
I stay interested. Me and my baby girl, we done went up to check Joe Fantasia.
Oh, nice.
I rode all the way up to Connecticut to hear the goddamn G Unit record, and he didn't sing the damn G Unit record. I gotta get in Joe's inbox because I was very upset about that. But Fantasia, she was amazing. She was really, really amazing, and I was really surprised. And she's kind of cute now. She alright now. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
It was a couple rumors going around. So I don't want to know.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what it was, but she looked good. She looked good. She sound good. I had a really, really great time. But Joe didn't sing that one record. Man, I wanted to hear G
Oh.
What you yeah,
Huh?
baby? I
Yeah.
wanna do that one.
No, and it didn't sound like that either. But please don't do that no more.
Don't be
Get the
playing.
ratings in
Stop
the
trying to
toilet.
play with me.
That's hilarious.
You
Yeah, but
got
everything
jokes
was
today,
yeah,
sir.
but it was great though. It was a great weekend out. I went to go check out shout out to Juan Coon. He was DJing around the corner from the venue. So I went
Oh,
and popped
that's
in. Yeah,
nice. I haven't seen him
yeah,
in a minute.
yeah. I went and popped in on him. Oh man, got twisted. And it was something interesting. So we went to the show. We went to the club. We ate dinner. Back at the hotel at 12:30. Talking about, woo, that was a great night.
Man, listen, when you get over 50,
Yo, I'm trying to that 4 a.m. shit is that really constitutes the next day. I don't stay out all night no more.
You don't need to. By the time, if you're doing it right, you don't need all night.
Oh, here you go again. See, no, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna
Well, we
go
talking
there.
about
hey,
something
hey,
clean.
hey.
I
We
wasn't
not
talking
because
about what you
y'all,
talking about,
y'all don't
Rod.
want to go there because then I'd be wrong. Yeah,
Be
but
We're not going to
wrong.
get you started and riled up because you know how you do.
I get excited.
That's not the kind of thing I was talking about.
Extremely excited.
I was being good. I had my halo on.
Hey, Keisha, happy Mother's Day to you.
Happy Mother's Day to our chat. Yes,
This is my
please.
coworker.
Hey, we got two Keisas in the room
We
today.
got
We
two
That's
sure
keys.
nice.
do.
I call them both Key.
That's nice. That's
There's the original, right?
nice.
That's the best friend for life. And then Keisha's
Yes.
my coworker. My
Nice.
sister. Yeah, man. But
So
yeah,
Yeah.
what's been
I think
going
we're
on,
gonna be
ladies?
wait.
What's
Before we
happening?
start off with anything, I just want to let Rashay know that he's in trouble.
Uh-oh, what I done did now?
Because Mama Love done said she waiting on you.
Oh yeah, I gotta give her a call.
Yeah, you better just bring it down. Hey, mama, look here. I
She
ain't gonna
might
make
be
it.
right. She might be right online right now. Hey,
Because I told her, she said, when y'all coming back with the show? I said, we back, Mom. We about to go live in a minute. She said, Rashay didn't even tell me. I said, well, we'll be on tonight.
But not Rashay, because he's on his way
I
to
said,
your
but
house.
not Rashay, because he's not supposed to be on tonight. And she said, yeah. I said, well, yeah. She said, he on his way. I said, oh, okay.
Oh man, I gotta talk to her. I gotta talk to her.
Yeah, you good. You got problems, because you know.
Yeah, you know when
I'm
Glow
sorry.
gets started, the
Yeah.
phone's about to go. I'm gonna let her on too. As soon as she calls, I'm gonna blame it on y'all.
The
The thing is, though, we already talked to her, so we already
exactly. So no.
Unlike you, we already talked to her.
I'm gonna tell her y'all turn me around and say, "John,
I have a question.
What's up?
So you haven't spoken to your mother all day?
I spoke to her. That's why I don't even know. You think I ain't speak to Glow on Mother's Day?
That's what I was about to say. What is going on here? Did you not? Did you say you were going?
I think she got y'all. Maybe she didn't want y'all to know that I was doing something else. Maybe she thought I was going. Maybe she was trying to look out for me. Being that she was, you know what I'm saying? You know, it makes sense. It makes sense. She gave y'all a good. She gave y'all a good calling. Shout out to Glow.
This is us. You don't believe that. Because if it was any doubt in her mind that you were coming, she would have cussed at you.
She'd be like, he ain't coming. He said you stuttering, Rob.
Exactly.
That's how we know you're making it up as you go along.
Hey, Key, it's a new season. Don't start. I get you. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice.
So yeah. So what's it is Mother's Day. So this is a kind of a special show. We kind of veered away from our mental health month. So we're just gonna talk about Mother's Day stuff. So but before we get into that, what's trending? DJ Brother Love.
Ja Morant.
I got in trouble again.
And this is crazy because I'm sitting getting ready for the show. I'm sitting there, oh man, I got to go through the trending and the other thing, and it was crazy. And I was like, newsflash, Ja Morant in trouble again. I'm sitting there like this man, it's the gun game again. He's online with another gun. I think he got suspended for maybe 8 games last time. So now they're saying that this is going to be a real long suspension. Hopefully they don't trade him. He's a great talent. And, it's funny that I don't understand these young men. They're getting all this money, right? And my whole thing is, who do you have with you in your life to mentor you, to counsel you, and going back to mental health? It's like, dog, like something's not registering upstairs. It's like, do you have a life coach in your corner? Do you have, a mentor around you? Please, somebody in the NBA, yoke this guy up, show him the ropes. He has a beautiful daughter. He's always on air with his daughter after the game. This man needs some kind of help, and he needs some mentor.
Agreed.
To that kind of talent. And to lose that kind of money makes absolutely no sense.
Right. Thinking that you just, going to get away with it continuously, like it catches up with you.
But see, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shay. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and then more importantly, at some point, you have to start thinking about your tomorrows, right? You can't just live in the moment of feeling like, you are in a space where you have to defend yourself and that this is the life. If you don't want to be a person that has to carry a gun, you need to remove yourself from situations, or you can get a bodyguard, let the bodyguard carry the gun if you feel like it's that serious, right? Like you got that many people around you, spend that money. Rather than lose the money, because it's the same money, really, what you would have paid for a bodyguard.
Yeah, but see,
maybe more.
Here's the catch-22 to this, because since I've been moving around the country and stuff, I'm understanding more about these gun laws. The issue that I'm really having with the Ja Morant thing now is like, so I live in New York, right? But we got the businesses in Florida. So when I have the businesses in Florida, I could legally carry, right? So to me, it's like, all right, I need a license here, but in Florida, I don't. So you can carry. Florida is damn near open carry state. So now, everybody has, besides New York, damn near everybody is they can carry a weapon. It's an amendment. So my thing is that, are they really picking on this man? Is it really say, so what? He has a gun. If it's a legal gun, why are y'all coming at him that way? And I want to dig into this more, because it's like the sports figure, the guy from Alabama, it was the same thing where he got in trouble, but the gun was a legal gun. Whatever he did with it, it was. So if John Morant is not really breaking any laws, and he's legally entitled to carry a weapon, then why are they making a big deal of it? And that's what I'm gonna do some more investigating, and we'll get into it a little more maybe next show. But I just want to know, are they really picking on him?
I mean, I guess it seems like they are. I don't know. I'm not gonna say they're picking on him, but you got suspended once for doing something similar. Then you go and do it again. So the responsibility is on him to make sure that he doesn't find himself in these type of situations. Because are they just picking on him? No, you just doing dumb shit over and over again.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying?
You're right. It is dumb shit, but like I said, is it legal? See, my thing is, I'm looking at as far as you getting suspended or whatever the league wants to do to you. Is it a legal act that you actually did? And it seems like these sports teams, every time an African American get in some kind of trouble, they don't even investigate it. The straight thing is always a straight suspension, or you got to do this, or you got to do that. And my thing is, we really need to look into this. Yes, it was very immature. It was something very stupid that he did. I really do understand that. But again, legally, did he really break a law? That's what I really want to know.
Okay. Well, I guess we have to look a little bit into that, because I don't know the laws surrounding this whole situation, but he's suspended.
Again, right? and the season is over. That's the bad. He's suspended for next year.
That's like getting fired on your day off.
I'm trying to tell you, right?
Big dummy. What you doing?
We just got to find out about these young guys, and these guys is getting a lot of money, and I really think that the money too is an issue, and maybe they don't have to disperse all that money out at one time. Maybe they could put into some type of IRA, some kind of trust, because if you run around with $30 million, shit, give me $30 million. I'm 52. I wouldn't even talk to y'all no more if I had that kind of money.
So I can't come out. I can't go outside. I
come outside. But you know that new money. When you come from the hood, when you come up from the hood, you grew up in the hood, and that new money, you get a taste of that new money.
I'm gonna change my name.
You lose your mind. I do agree. They need to be, they need to do something to help these young men. When they able to, when you get this new money, okay. Pause. You got the check, but pause. Calm down. Yeah. And let's think about some things first. Don't just go, they start spending, they get this house, these cars, these jewels. They just go ham. So, I think there needs to be some sort of guidance. But, sometimes you can't tell nobody what to do with their bread.
It needs to come with some level of financial literacy. And I think that's part of it also, is that you dump all that money. This is how people who win the lottery lose all their money. So many people go broke because there's no level of financial knowledge that goes along with having that. And it matters because you can spend it.
It does. You just spend
it. Absolutely.
You just spend it. But I wanted to talk about Jamie Foxx real quick too. And not so much about Jamie Foxx, because what I hear he's doing okay now, but how the blogs and social media and we'll paint a picture about a situation and it be completely false. Now, for weeks we've been thinking that Jamie Foxx had one foot in the grave, because the way they've been praying for Jamie Foxx, he's had these complications. Nobody's saying what it is. Then 1 minute you hear he had a stroke, and then the next minute you hear something. then the last one I saw from them was saying that keep, prayers are basically something like he took a turn for the worse. His daughter had to come and post and saying that her father has been out the hospital for weeks and he was actually outside playing pickleball. I don't know what pickleball, maybe that's some rich people shit, but I don't know what pickleball is.
That's that John Morant money.
I don't know exactly.
How did he learn to play pickleball?
I don't know what that is, but yeah. I need to look that up. How do you play pickleball? Because maybe I don't know. But anyway, so I was just like, dag. Social media and the blogs had people like, he's about to die.
Why wouldn't he get on and say something?
I don't know.
As opposed to his daughter, right? Like, why not? Know. This is a man who has a large career, a large following. Like, why wouldn't you just come on and say, hey, I would, everything's all right. I'm not great, but I'm on the mend, and just let y'all know that I'm still out here, still, getting it together.
Shout out to Eddie Levert because remember right before the OJ's tour last year, I'm a Levert fan, so I was like the fifth generation Levert. Y'all don't know nothing about that, but I'll talk about that another time. But he didn't make the tour because remember he got COVID right before they started, and they went out with this other guy. But he made sure to get to social media and say, "Look, I'm okay. I'm doing well. Stop listening to the rumors. I'll be back soon." Whatever the case may be, because remember they said he died and everything. So now getting back to the Jamie Foxx situation, and we're gonna talk in real time because we just had this discussion before we went on air about how people say these people are really doing great. But remember the situation with Biz, rest in peace to Biz Markie. They said that he was recovering fine and this, that, and other, and he was home and that he never, he never left the nursing home where he was at or whatever the case may have been. He ended up passing. And then with SNS, oh man, what's
kill
my
somebody
guy?
off.
Yeah, Mama, I know. Oh man, the mixtape guy from Hot 97, the Drama King. I can't get his name right now, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't get his name, but rest in peace to him. He passed away, and they said that he was doing great, and people said they went to see him, and he ended up passing. I think he had COVID as well. So it's like sometimes we don't really know what to believe. I do know I heard Fantasia say prayers going up to Jamie Foxx, and whatever it is, brother, get well soon.
Absolutely.
We still here. Whether if you're not there yet, we just hoping that you're going to get there.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, why his daughter gonna lie and say he playing pickleball then?
I don't know. Sometimes it's also about privacy.
Yeah, it's about privacy.
Right? Why you got to be playing pickleball? Why you can't just be
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on this pickleball thing. Just say he's doing okay if you don't want the people to. But you're making up a big story. He's playing pickleball. So now I envision Jamie Foxx somewhere. Whatever.
You don't even know what pickleball looks like. So how are you envisioning it? What does he have in his hand with his pickleball game? Huh?
I don't know.
Is it a bat? Is it a stick?
Yeah, y'all hating on that John Morant money now. That's what it is. That's that John Morant money.
Chadwick Boseman's wife, his family, they also didn't share
exactly
his health issues, right? Chadwick Boseman. I mean, but there weren't any rumors to say otherwise. Right. But there's this level of, wanting privacy. Like you going through a lot. It's a traumatic situation. You don't necessarily want to have to get up and be like, "Hello, world, I'm fine." But they done put the man in the grave.
Yeah, even with him, it was
I found out what pickleball is. I googled it.
Okay. When he passed away from the cancer situation, he had to have that a long time before, because he looked great in all the movies. His career was short. Remember, he came out in doing the Jackie Robinson movie. 5 years later, he was gone. He had to, we just don't know. We really don't know.
I hope that what she's saying is true, that he is on the mend and he's, okay. Because I love Jamie Foxx. That's my birthday twin,
Yeah, shout out to pickleball.
Shout out to pickleball.
That means, and clearly, if he's playing pickleball, that means he's really on the mend, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't play pickleball and not be okay.
He was like, "Well, he's playing pickleball. That means he's fine."
Y'all want to toast to pickleball?
That's toast to pickleball. Shout out to the pickleball.
Water to pickleball because I'm,
we got water.
Shout out. We can't do Cleopatra Jones this week, right?
I had my cocktails for Mother's Day already, and it was wonderful. So that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do a let me ask my cuz. That guy on the couch is on his job.
That was right on time.
You knew your job. He knows his job.
Yeah, you get a raise. You get a raise.
I saw something recently, and this is really about it touches on Mother's Day a little bit, but I saw something recently about this woman who was asking advice, right, on a different show, different thing going on. And she was talking about how she's 34, right? And kind of pre-COVID, she was in this space of working in this job that she hated, and she lived in this little apartment and all of this kind of stuff. And then kind of towards the end of COVID, she was able to move out the country, and she got this great job, good guy. The guy wants to settle down and have kids and get married. And she's in this place of distress because she said that even though that's what's happening with all of her friends, they're all kind of, getting married, having children, she still feels like she wants to go out and explore life. She wants to be able to travel still and all of this kind of stuff. But she's dealing with this guilt because now she got a really good guy in her life, right, who's willing to live that life with her, a family and children, etc. And what she was asking is, should she feel guilty, and whether or not she should just go ahead and settle down with the guy, or if she should be in a place where, she just continues to travel and maybe not have that particular relationship or risk losing this good guy. And that is an interesting thing, because I had a friend of mine who said that to me. It's not that much out here, girl. Like, you need to just try to work with what you got. So in that vein, right, just thinking about your own life and where you are and how things were going, how would you advise a young lady, 34 years old, can't have children forever, and having healthy relationships, not always something that happens for us, right? Finding the right guy. But yet her in her spirit, she still wants to be in a place where she's still traveling and trying things and so forth. So what do y'all think about that?
I'm gonna be a gentleman. You want to go first, Michelle?
Okay, I'll tackle. I'll have a go at it.
Okay, go ahead.
Have a go at it.
I'll have a go at it. So, I feel like, and how old did you say that she was?
She's 34.
When you have these thoughts that you're conflicted about, should you just live your life and travel and things like that, or should I get into a relationship and settle down? You're gonna always
she's in the relationship.
Oh, she's already in the relationship.
Yes, and he's ready to get married and settle down and have children, etc.
So that doesn't sound like he's the one for her. Because if you're with someone and you're having these thoughts, like maybe I should still travel. Is he the one that you want to marry? Because that doesn't sound like you've chosen him for that role in your life. If you're still thinking about being out there and traveling and you can't do those things with your partner, that's potentially maybe a problem down the line. That's my thought. Because why can't you, if this is not somebody who you can do all of those things with, and you feel like, okay, you're missing out on something if I marry this person, then later on down the line, you may have some resentment towards the choice that you made. Maybe him, maybe you might be angry with yourself, but I don't know.
You know where I'm gonna go with this, right?
No, I'm afraid.
I hope not.
She's still inquisitive about certain things, right?
Okay.
She wants to live her life. So I'm glad you brought that up, Michelle, because I don't know, maybe I might have missed the part with what Shay was saying. But I was gonna say for me, I ain't have no more kid, no baby making. You're gonna call him Superman if I have another one. But you can incorporate everything that you want to do with the mate that's already in your life, right? So you want to live your life, you want to travel, you want to do this. There's nothing better in life than to do it with a mate that you enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been on plenty of trips with the man on the couch, but ain't nothing like going away with my woman. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes it
you
makes
say your woman.
You know what I'm saying?
So you gotta wait.
Listen.
Well, I
heard you.
But what I'm saying is, ain't nothing like going away when you're in a relationship with somebody that you're committed with. So the thing is overall is the problem. Here's the problem to me: you're second guessing doing these things with who you're with.
Right.
So is it a problem with the salami? I don't know. I just gotta try to figure that out. I don't know.
Well, let's just assume that part is fantastic.
I don't know. I'm just trying to.
It ain't always about the
Let's just assume.
If it's fantastic,
let's just assume that it's fantastic.
To jet off by yourself.
Well, I don't know.
She's young.
True. Right, she's young. She's 34. And I think it speaks to the idea that every woman wants to be a mother and wants to be a wife.
Right.
And there's this assumption that that we all aspire to be in that space. Now, having raised children, right, already been in these spaces, there's beauty in that. But I think there's also a different kind of life that a woman should have the option to have, and it not necessarily be wrapped around a husband and children.
But the thing is, if you're committed and you're in a relationship and you got these things that you want to do, to me, if you're with the right person, it doesn't matter if you're committed or not. Why wouldn't you still be allowed to live your life?
I agree. And for her to have these thoughts outside of her relationship,
it
makes me feel like, okay, maybe she doesn't see him in that way.
Right, because see, here's the thing with relationships, and this is why a lot of people, to me, when they're in relationships, you don't have to be joined to your partner at the hip.
Absolutely.
Right? So you want to give your partner enough time to live their life and do with the things that they want to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you're going out of town, I'm going out of town, whatever it is, the man on the couch wants to meet up in Vegas for 2-3 days. It shouldn't be a problem, even if I'm married, if I'm committed, if I'm in love, whatever the situation is, my partner, my wife, why would that bring a problem?
I think I asked the question wrong. Let me just clarify what the problem is. It's not that she wants to travel. She wants to move around the world, like go other places, find a new job, move to a new country, that kind of thing.
Right? She wants to explore life. She's
not feeling due.
Yeah, that to me means that, okay, I like you and I might even love you, but I'm not sure if I see a life.
Right, exactly.
So if she has these thoughts because she is young, she doesn't have children, and she has every right to feel the way that she feels. So she's torn between she probably really does love this man or like this man, or she wouldn't be that
she's
conflicted.
Considerate.
Yeah,
correct.
She wouldn't be that
because
conflicted.
You have a traveling spirit. She has a traveling spirit, and then she's found this person who's wonderful, treats her well, and is willing to, venture into that kind of a life with her, of settling down, buying a home, having children. And for her, in her spirit, it's about her feeling like that life is going to be a bit boring and not have the adventure that she's looking for.
I said the problem.
Right? That doesn't necessarily, because let's be honest, there's great salami all over the place.
And she's looking for more excitement.
Thing. Well, it doesn't mean we're not even going to go on that journey that you're trying to take us
on.
I'm
not going there. I'm just
we're gonna.
You said that this is a great man. He does all the things. It's something that's there that it's not clicking.
No.
Is it possible that it really is just about that she's a woman who wants to explore the world? Right.
It sounds like he's ready to settle down and she's not.
Right. Because it's not that she met somebody in her hometown. She moved out of the country and met this man. So she was already in a place of traveling and she met somebody wonderful. But she still in her heart has this desire to want to go out and explore the world still. And so what's happening is that even though, Michelle, you mentioned that she's young, when it comes to being married and having children, it's not necessarily young for most people, right? A lot of people are married and young. I mean, they're married and have children in their 20s. So when you get to be 34, your friends already, their kids are 5, 6, and 7 years old, and you're still trapezing around the world, right?
Right.
And so for her, that was the conflict. And it just speaks to me about how that guilt to me comes from a place of the world expecting something from her that she's not feeling in her heart about how she chooses to live her life, right? Because it's about being a mom also, right?
Because she knows that once she decides this, okay, now if I decide to, cut all of that out, now my life with this person, I'm going to start a family, I'm going to do those different things. Am I ready for that?
Because that's your life for the next
because now that's
minimum.
Okay, but
the doubt is concerning to me.
Right, but wouldn't that be worth the conversation? Maybe he wants to travel the world with her as well.
Right.
It has to be something that she's not feeling whole about the situation.
Yeah, that's something. It's concerning that she has this doubt that maybe this is not the person that she wants to spend the rest of her life with, because that's what it sounds like he wants.
Yeah. I think maybe
doesn't sound like she wants that. Yeah.
Most people don't want to be traveling gypsies. They want to settle down.
So what you think, Miss Shays Lachey? What you think? What's your take on it?
Yeah, I feel like you should live your life in a space where you don't have any regrets.
Right.
And if that is in your heart, right? And Michelle and I, we had this conversation about parenting from a place of unhappiness. And I know a lot of parents, and just recently was talking to someone who was talking about a young lady who is parenting from a place of resentment. Right. Had children and the father is not showing up the way that she wanted him to. And her finances have changed and the way she shows up in the world has changed because her focus is now with her child who's now 7. And so she's been in this space for some time and she's an extremely unhappy woman and mother because she feels stifled, right? She didn't say those words, but when we think about how we are as parents, right? When you don't have that supportive partner and you're living in a space of financially figuring things out and navigating the world, it stops being about you, right? And it can be more than you even realize you're getting yourself into when you even get pregnant, because this is the life that you now have. And when you don't have a partner, just makes it that much harder.
It does.
And so I don't think that anybody should be in a place where you feel pressured because society says that you should be doing a certain thing at a certain age in your life in order for you to be accepted in society, right? Because that's the friend that you don't invite because she can't come with you and your couple friends, right? You got couples, you hang out with other couples. That friend doesn't get invited to the thing because they're single and we don't have those around. So I just think that that's not where you need to be. You need to follow, your heart.
Your heart. And if your heart says, I'm not ready for this, then don't force yourself to be ready for something.
See, that's where I disagree. Because the heart could lead you to doing some pretty foul shit. So I think sometimes it has to be what makes sense. You have to make decisions that really, really make sense. Because the heart is always going to have a want. A heart needs something all the time. So you have to. It has to be a balance on it. We can't do exactly what we want our heart to do all the time. Trust me.
Well, when it comes to choosing travel or a lifetime partner, you got to follow your heart. My heart said, go travel. No, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that, we can, for an emotionally mature person, someone, then I would say that. Yeah. But if you're just leading, you blindly letting your heart just say, let me go with this person, because sometimes that's what happens. And then you end up with Joe Schmo, and now you are in a situation that you don't need to be in because you followed your heart. But it sounds to me like she's weighing her options, and this person is treating her well. He's a good guy, but I don't know if I'm ready to settle down, and I still want to travel the world and do his thing. So you don't want to risk choosing something that you're not going to be happy with when 20 years down the line, and you look back and say, I missed out on all of this because I made this. Now you resent your partner.
And the child.
And the child.
And that's where parenting changes, right? When you get into that space of, I don't know why, I just can't. I can't wait till they get old. I can't wait till you got to get out. I can't wait.
I agree that she should terminate the relationship, but especially when you said the thing with the children, but I think the children just comes in maturity. I think, my kids, for instance, is 8 years apart. So I have a thing where of enjoying all my children, both my children, right? But one's an adult, one is still young. Is that what was going on in my life prior 8 years before? I was in the struggle. I was in the hustle. I was trying to make things happen. I was still planting my feet. My feet are planted now. So it's a difference in parenting. It's a difference on, and usually if you talk to a lot of parents, they will really say, yo, that older one's kind of got an issue because, he got beef with the younger one because, you treat the younger one a certain way, but it's not that. It's just that, we got experience now. We learned. We made a lot of mistakes with that first one. You understand what I'm saying? And, you really, really get a chance to rethink and understand and see where you went wrong with that first one than that second one. So life is always about evolving, but she does need to terminate the relationship. Though.
Yeah, she needs to
because she ain't feeling it. Something's going on. Maybe it's birth thing. I don't know.
Or maybe it's not time. Maybe 5 years. Maybe let me go out here and live my life, and maybe we'll meet each other again in another lifetime.
But Rashay, you said something really important about the maturing as a parent, right? I think that's why grandparents are so wonderful, is because by that time you done, messed the kid up a little bit here and there, and then you finally figured out how to, like, whoo, I'm gonna get it right with these grandkids, right? Because I know I didn't have a lot of great role models as far as being a good parent or parenting and from a healthy space. And so when I did have children, I had my stumbles of trying to figure it out, right? Because that's how I lived my life. It was really about reacting to the situations that came up. It's not like I sat down and was like, oh, this is the right time for me to have a child. And now I got, money in the bank and I'm doing this thing. It was like, okay, I'm pregnant now. I got to get ready to, figure this thing out. And so I was chasing, right, trying to get it together. And so when Rashay mentions having the ability to have a child at a later age and being in a better space financially and not having that be part of your story and trying to, provide for your children, it gives you the brain to even deal with them in a different level. Right? Because when money is an issue and you trying to figure out how to get them back and forth to school because you only got one car and there's a problem with the engine, and you don't get paid until so and so day, but they need X, Y, and Z. There's a level of stress in parenting that doesn't have to exist if you're in a space where you're not reacting, right? You're not chasing, trying to figure it out. And I know I didn't have that option. And
I grew up with all my kids grew up with me. Like we all grew up together. I was a mother, but I was still growing up. I heard my first child at 20. You know what I mean? I was still a kid. It really mentally, I was young. And had been going through changes before I had my first kid. So it was like, okay, where I got this baby.
That's you're right, because that's funny. I had my first one. I thought I did good. I thought I had it all together, and I was 28, and I did it. Then Christian came at 36.
Right.
Now I'm on some other grown man shit. So different. It was like it was different, and I had a chance to see exactly, and it's the relationships that you're in. Okay. It could be the wife, it could be the girlfriend, it could be the baby mama, it could be the relationships that you are in, and how we grow to handle people. How do we grow to handle our mate? How do we grow to handle our wives? How do we grow to handle an ex if y'all not together and y'all going through a divorce? All of that stuff results into taking care of the kid.
Yeah, because I know even because Shell, I think I had my first at 23, but I was in a relationship, a full-fledged relationship at 19, right? And I was still living at home with my mother, and I moved out of that house into an apartment with my kid's father. And to say that I wasn't ready, but you couldn't have told me that, right? It's like the knowledge that I have today, I'm like, I would have been an even better parent, because I don't think I was a terrible parent. I look at them now, I'm like, well, God had them and I did a little bit, so, but I just would have been a better person had I understood the trauma that I had in my life, and to even know that it was something that needed to be fixed. Because I felt like, hell, I made it to 19, and that meant that I had some knowledge about surviving life, and I wasn't going to take down that armor that I had built up to keep me and get me to where I was at, to be like, all right, let's look at, examine some of the issues that I had going on. I was like, I ain't crazy. I ain't wilding out. It's not like I'm a mean person or self-destructive or hurting you in any way. So whatever I got going on is not that bad. But in reality, it was unhealthy things to building a wholesome relationship and a wholesome family life. That part I didn't figure out
question
until when it comes to, much later.
Since it is Mother's Day, I want to ask Rashay a question, because when you were thinking about having a child, which I don't think that you were, I think she just kind of got pregnant, right?
No, my daughter was actually planned.
Oh, she was planned. Both my kids. So being that she was planned, what was your thought process in picking a mother? Say this is a mother. What type of mother were you looking for your child?
That's funny. I don't think it was a mother issue. I was thinking about the relationship, and we were really, really good friends. We did a lot of hanging out. We were always together. We was always together. And I had my daughter pretty quick. We wasn't in a relationship a long time. It was just about the enjoyment of enjoying one another as basically friends. Then moving forward is like I said, I felt that I was ready. I was in a career job, right? So here I am. I'm a young buck at UPS. I'm wilding. I'm having all this fun. And then, you got the senior guys that are looking at you to say, when you're going to get it together, like you're going to make $1 million by the end of your career if you add up all your earnings. What are you going to do with this? So, rest in peace to my man Kev. We felt the same way. It's like 28, 29. We don't have no kids. We done did everything in life but this. It tackled a family thing. So at that time, when I found out that, she was somebody that we really had fun hanging out, this, that, and the other, not thinking, let it go. Two shots of Hennessy, it was done.
So basically, there was really no, you planned it, but I don't know.
So, and let me ask the question a little bit differently.
Sky's here, thank God for her, but if you didn't work out with her mother.
Right. And if you think about where you are in your life right now, and I know you don't want to have any more children, but if you had to think about the characteristics or qualities of a woman to be a mother to your children, how different is that from what actually has happened in your life?
I could say you really got to take more time. And when I say time, I don't mean time is being together. I mean, we've been together for 10 years. You still might not know that person in 10 years. I was working 60 hours a week. You understand what I'm saying? So my life consisted of working 12 hours, right? 3 beers, give me some duty do, go to sleep, and come back home. That was the life. And you would think that this is the life because everybody in your circle that you work with, because again, we're working 12 hours a day, right? So you would think that. I think that I didn't understand the true understandings of relationships, children.
I don't think any of us did.
No, I think I did after I retired, because then I had that understanding to get to knowing exactly what does Rob want? What does Rob really want? Because now I got that time to sit back and really understand. And the conversations that you have with a partner now might not be the conversations before. Oh, the rent paid, the mortgage paid, this, that, and the other. What color drawers you got on? Yo, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that, and that's it. And I'm going back to work.
A lot of us had babies because of a good night.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right, we didn't have a plan, right? We didn't really, and that to me is a big, it's such a missed opportunity to provide a better quality of life even for your children. When you think about how we just in a moment, right? We planned out the next 20 years of our life on some 2 shots of Hennessy, and then here we are.
Now our baby's here. And our baby's here.
What's funny is that, and that's what, Sky was definitely planned, but the thing is again, immaturity, me not even understanding what are the requirements of being a husband, being a good partner. What does that really look like? What does that look like? We didn't have the mentors in the neighborhoods as we grow up. Like, I love my dad, but my dad was really about his cash and this, do what you got to do, and you got to shake and like, I mentor my son on certain things. I mentor my son on girlfriends. I talk to him about certain things. We didn't have that. I think the older mom and dads, they taught us to survive. Everything was about making sure that we were safe and we were all right, and not really tuning in onto your partner, getting in tune with your partner.
A lot of things we weren't learning, because we was doing too much. Like, we were really, as teenagers, we was doing a lot.
And the fact that we didn't know what it looked like, right? I didn't know what it looked like. I knew what dysfunction looked like, and I knew that I knew enough to know that I didn't want that in my life. So I didn't allow that level of dysfunction, but it also caused me to be detached in a lot of ways, because I was on self-preservation mode. Like, y'all we ain't about to do this. Like, I'm gonna make sure that I cover that. I don't allow this situation, because the way I see it, it's only a matter of time before you do wrong.
Right.
So I moved in that space, right? And eventually manifested a situation where it didn't work. But now I see it. But it's interesting how it all kind of comes together. It took for me to be out of my relationship and single before I had an opportunity to really look at myself and just be accountable for the things that I brought to the situation to have it, not work out.
And then we get older, and then
fine.
our kids will get older, and then now we try to catch up from some of the things that we missed out doing before we had kids, because I didn't get the chance to just explore. You know what I mean? I was a mother like at 20 years old and 3 kids before 30. So I didn't get a chance to explore. So I was trying to explore and navigate between the kids. Like, okay, Mom, can you watch the kids? I want to go. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff that if I would have waited, I'd have been a little bit more settled and said, okay, I am ready for this, because I wasn't ready for it at all.
Right.
Yeah, but see, it's a catch-22 with that too, is that, like I said, so I'm in my 50s, I'm still going through things with my son, right? Because he's a teenager, right? When you're younger, you can be done at a very early age, and you get to move on to doing other things with your life.
That's true.
And then that child in her will really be your friend, right? So it's like, like I look at Glow, for instance, and my dad. My dad was my best friend. He wasn't just my dad, right? Glow's my best friend. We could sit up, we could talk. Like the stuff that Glow tells me now, like I'm still your son. Hello, like, you understand what I'm saying? It's great to have these relationships. I'm pretty sure I'll get there with Christian, but I'll be well into my 60s before he really get to understand what real life is. But I say that because we understand too in life what it takes for us with our children. Like, he had an issue and I dealt with it immediately instead of saying, I got to go to work. I get to this done. I'll address it later. You understand what I'm saying? So I got in my car, I drove down there, and we just had a long talk about everything that's going on. And my stress levels is a lot lower now, right? So when Sky was older, when Sky was Christian's age, I was losing my mind because I'm still trying to figure it out. Now here you go, you done did some dumb shit. You understand what I'm saying? You just made it a little bit worse. At least now it's the difference. It's the difference in maturity. And it's the difference in the time and the life. So
nobody signs up to be a single mother, because being a single mother is not easy. There's a lot of things that I missed. Like TJ played football in high school. I missed a lot because I had to go to work. You know what I mean? Right. So, and it was a little bit more of a struggle for me that I couldn't make certain things, because there was a time when they were younger, I didn't have a vehicle to get around. So I was on the bus, and so there was a lot of things that I missed out on. I don't want to say I regret anything, but there was some things that I wish I could have done differently. You know what I mean? Waited, but they're here and they're grown, so can't take it back, can't undo it.
And I don't regret a piece of my motherhood.
Yeah, I don't regret none of it.
I won't say it was regretful. I have just ideas in my head about how I could have been a better parent had I been a little bit more mature, had I understood myself a little bit better, so that I could show up in my motherhood in a different way, right? Instead of subjecting my kids to those same growing pains as I was going through them, to be like, oh man, that was bad. Okay, let's try this.
Because you don't realize that your kids you're growing up with your kids, and they're experiencing your growing pains.
Right. But you have so I believe in energy, right? So to me, I try not to pass bad energy. So even when I'm having things going on, and then it comes to dealing with my kids, you know what? Even if I have to take that minute and take a back seat, maybe I don't see them today. Maybe I see them tomorrow. Maybe I'll call tomorrow instead of calling today. Maybe I'll call 3 hours later. Because energy is something that we just give off, right? So a lot of the times is, especially when we in that struggle and we in that grind, that we don't get a chance to really check ourselves on understanding it. So sometimes I just think with parenting today, you just got to really watch the energy you give off, because your kids didn't ask for none of this. Your kids didn't ask for the rent to be paid. Your kid didn't ask why your daddy didn't come home last night. You understand what I'm saying? So it has to be a way on where you have to understand where you got to differentiate the two, and you have to really put that energy, that positive energy, to your child, and everything else has to stay out the door, and it's really hard to do. And
it is,
it's like,
and it throws a bit. Absolutely,
it is, and it's like a lot of people say, "Oh, you got great relationships, and I want a relationship y'all got, and this, that, and the other with both my children's mothers." But it took a lot for me to change, because I understand energy. They're still in it. They're not retired. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. And sometimes I have to explain that to my son. Daddy's in a different place. You understand what I'm saying? So, we on some cool out. You understand what I'm saying? But I know that if I have an issue here, or if I have an issue paying a bill, or I got an issue with a promoter, or I got an issue with an event that I'm doing, and then you know what, Chris, I need to call you back. I know that enough, because the energy can really, really throw the kid off.
Agreed. But since this is not Father's Day and it's Mother's Day,
well,
we want to talk about the mamas.
Okay. Yeah, because I hear that about being able to protect them from energy, but when you're in a household and your children live with you, whatever you bring home is very difficult to. Yeah. And if you're having a long day, if you're working all day, you come in the door, they trying to live their best life, and you trying to cook dinner and do all kind of things, you don't necessarily have the option to be able to protect them from it, right? Sometimes your partner even could get it. Like,
and that's what, and
you want to be a better person.
About single moms and the one parent out the household, and a lot of times it is the father that's out the household. So for them, I feel like they have it a little bit easier. Because the children are the father that's not in the house. And I say that to say, because not saying that you don't contribute just as much, but the child that's in the home with the mother, she's there. Like you said, with energy, there's no taking away. You're going to get this energy, whatever it is, whatever I bring into this house is the energy you're going to get. You don't have an opportunity to say, let me go and because if you do go in the room and say, let me regroup, and then the kids like they don't want to hear that you need a minute to just
get a minute. I need you.
Before you walk in that door, you can't just sit down and have a conversation with yourself. You can't bring yourself. And to me, it's called self-control.
That sounds really good when you're an adult, like, and you figured that out. But when I was 24 and 25 and 26 and 27,
I'm not taking nothing away from the father because I don't want y'all to see. It's not to take away from the fathers, but the parent that's in the household is the parent, and I'm sorry,
that's on 24/7,
on 24/7,
or a mother, whoever the parent,
whoever that is. It's not even about whether it's the father. I say the fathers that are not in the home. It's if the mother's not in the home, the father that's in the household 24/7,
right? Because you think about,
you have that situation.
Who had the same situation?
It's not an equal balance. It's not an equal balance.
Okay,
if you get the kid on the weekend, it's not an equal balance.
So let me ask you a question. I think, let's say for young mothers, like, so when you were younger, did y'all have mentors? Like for instance, like when I go through, because my daughter's a young mother, right? And a lot of the times, I mentor my daughter and her partner. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I try to put direction there to get them to understand it. And he even said, like, yo, I can relate with you more than I can relate with my own dad. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes it comes down to who's around us, who's in our circle. You understand? Like, I get it, but sometimes, like I said, I didn't have the opportunity. We didn't have, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I wish I had that guy to say, you know what, before you go to the door, sit in the car 5 minutes.
Well, my mom passed away when I was pregnant with my second son. I was 6 months pregnant and she passed away. And so it became navigating even without having that. Like, my children didn't have the luxury of having grandparents because their father's mother had passed away even before we had our first child. So we didn't have that ability to be able to lean on that wisdom and be able to get the break. And so we were just in it, right? And just figuring it out. And while there were my friends and their moms and so forth, but the reality is that a lot of the older adult women that were in my space had already parented from places of trauma and weren't people that I necessarily wanted to or could go to for guidance. So I didn't have that option. I figured it out. My people that I leaned on were in the same trenches as I was, the Michelles of the world, my Cassandra, like, Winnette, those people who I had in my life. And we were each other's support system, but there was no person that I could go to say, am I doing this right? Did I handle that situation right? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I just didn't have it.
Right.
I get that.
Right.
It's not easy at all for parenting in general, but since we're trying to dedicate the show to the mamas today, we're going to talk about the mamas.
Mm-hmm.
Single mamas, married mamas, whoever, if you're still with your partner, being a mama.
Stepmothers,
godmamas,
adopted mothers, right? Those that adopt.
All of those,
Yeah.
They're important to the life of a child. And, we'll talk about the fathers next month. This is not y'all's show today, okay? So I don't ever want, but again, I don't want the fathers to think that we're trying to say anything negative about them, because it's not about that. It's just about parenting in general and
from a mother's perspective.
From a mother's perspective, right. And that's how we feel. I was a single mother, and I know my kid's father had it easy, but we won't talk about that on the show today. But yes. So
I'm not even going to talk.
They had the option to opt out. Like
they have the option
to say, I'm not going to call a day because I'm in a bad mood and I don't want to give them my energy. It's a different thing from I got to put this key in the door and I had the absolute worst day of my life, but I still got to feed them and do homework and do blah, blah, blah. It's just, it was a lot. I'm glad they're grown. I'm me too.
There was a time when my mother and father, when they were still together, I would literally see my father laying on the bed. My mom would be in the bathroom. I would walk right past him and go knock on the door. Ma!
So let me ask y'all a question as being young mothers. So, this is a real good question. So you say like the men have it easier coming out, not being in the home.
The parent outside of the home.
The parent outside
of the home.
But
I don't want to say it's the dad.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, because this is something I kind of battle with sometimes. Do you give the man that option to help you in the home with your children, being that y'all move on in other relationships and do other things, and now you have to secure a man that you're with, that the children live with, and everything else? So does that man really have that option to help you parent that child in the home, or to really even be available like that? Because sometimes the words come up, don't tell your father my business. Don't do this. Don't do that. A lot of children go through that.
Yeah, I didn't do that to mine. Yeah, but I want to say it's different, right? It's a different type of parenting when you're outside of the household. And so we would have conversations, but being able to actually step in and help out, he didn't live there. So he couldn't fix it for me. He couldn't make breakfast on, the days that I was tired. I didn't have those options. So I just had to dig down and get it done. And I could say, I need you to get them an extra weekend because I'm just fried and I need a moment, and he would swoop in. So, I was lucky enough to be 100% supported and have a really wonderful co-parenting experience, but it didn't make my everyday easy. It didn't make me show up better because I was an exhausted parent. I was exhausted. I fell into bed at night and I dragged my body up out the bed to be present most of the time. So,
and I just want to clarify something, because I see Jerome is asking, how do we know that the parent outside the home has it easier? And for me, the reason why I say that is because the parent in the home is dealing with the child 24/7. The parent outside of the home is not. That's really what it is.
Absolutely.
That's it.
It's a different life.
Because, you're still a parent.
And let me add this just for a second, to clarify it. when my sons got to be older, they moved with their dad, right? My life got easier.
So
because I didn't have to deal with them. Right. I didn't have to do the constant parenting. I was able to make options like, I want to watch this show. I'm going to call my son after my show goes off. Like, I'm going to get a chance to relax this evening. And when you're a 24/7 parent, right? Because I got those phone calls, like, you got to talk to him, this and that, blah, blah. It's a different type of parenting when they're living in your household 24/7.
It is easier in the sense that you don't have to deal with the child 24/7. So, I mean, if you want to go deep into the word easier, I mean, that's just the word that we're choosing in this moment. So it's not to take anything away from the child parent on the outside, because you can still be a hands-on parent even though you're not in the home. But when it comes to dealing with the child 24/7 and being more hands-on, in the household, the parent that the child lives with, it is a little bit more it's more demanding.
Correct. It is
to some degree. And I like the fact that you did experience it from both ends of it. Mm-hmm. So you can speak to that from your side and the side of being the parent.
And my kid's father also, because there was this, it was a very different conversation when they were living with him.
Right. Yeah. Someone was asking about mentally. And that's why I'm saying, don't get me wrong when I'm saying easier, because I'm not trying to say that they're still not a parent or they're less of a parent. I'm just saying, as far as the day-to-day, 24/7, maybe easier was not the best word to use, because I see that's becoming a problem in the chat.
Nah. See, I did I did both. I had my daughter the last 3 years of high school, right? I'm not gonna say I understand both sides. I understand both sides, because the outside parent has to do more of the running and adjusting. The inside parent, so the inside parent, they do have to deal with the child, and that's why I ask, is a lot of the issues come through on is, what does the inside parent allow the other parent to do?
Yeah, I get that. If you're coming from a home where you got a trauma and dysfunction, and
so
mother's not letting you, that's a different situation.
I think it's really hard. It's a different kind of hard on the outside parent, because the outside parent, his life is totally changed, him or her, because you have to adjust to a schedule. If you're into your children, then you're still going to make the meetings, you're still going to do this, you're still going to do the sports. You're figuring out pickup times, drop off times. If you want to take your kid to school, if you want to do this, it's a lot more, because your scheduling is way off, because you're really running between two homes, and that's really the discomfort of everything, especially if you're moving on to other relationships, other marriages and stuff like that, because you have another priority over here. So you have a priority here, and then you have a priority over here. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that honestly it's hard on both sides, because inside, you deal with the everyday thing, but then you're not dealing with the outside things that you have to do, and now your life is totally turned around. Like, if you're in a relationship and you have the kids and this, that, and other, your life is on a schedule. You understand what I'm saying? When you're the outside, when you're the outside parent, it's hard, because now you got to pick and choose times. If you're with somebody that has another kid, if you have another child with somebody else, if you do this, if you're in another relationship, your life becomes a kind of damn near nightmare, because you're still committed to two homes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a nightmare. I mean, a nightmare, you create nightmares. That's not something that's automatic.
It is because you have to keep your children happy, and if you're moving on in a relationship with another family, you have to maintain that too.
Right, but we're talking about parenting, and
not relationships. But no, it's not relationships, but it's what we're doing with our lives. Why is it hard? You're going to work, like I said, you're going to work, y'all doing this, y'all dealing with that, and then you're coming home and dealing with the kids. It's the same thing with the outside parent.
Yeah, no, and that's why I'm saying it's challenging for both parents.
It is.
Not to take away anything from any one parent. No, so let's me be clear with that. Like, no, I'm not taking.
We're clear a few times.
I'm trying to be clear, because I'm like, that's still going on.
I just think that, because I've done both. So I understand the role as the outside parent and the inside parent. Mm-hmm. It's just as much stress there to raise a child.
Right. Yeah, but Shay had a different experience.
The mental stress is part of birthing. I think it changes the way you look at life, period. But I certainly slept differently when my kids lived with their dad.
And if you wanted to go somewhere after
and
work,
I was thankful.
You could.
I absolutely could. And it was, and it had been, I had been with them. My kids were, 14, 15, 16. So all the years of parenting and having the kids in my household, it was like being a fish out of water. Like I actually could decide to do something with my time without having to look at another human being and decide if I could or couldn't. And that's just a different lifestyle than when they were in my household. I didn't have free time. There was no being able to, close my door and just kind of relax and do some things. It just wasn't the life. And even then it wasn't that I didn't have any kids in my household, just less, right? It was a whole different thing. So, yeah. And I could say that my level of anxiety and stress that I was living under, my children felt a lot of that in growing up. Just being a parent in that space, right? Because I was like, I was exhausted. And so the joy of parenting, I didn't experience that until they were a lot older.
Right.
Just being,
I love the way you just said that.
It required a lot less of my time and energy, and they really were able to get out and do their own thing.
Being a parent is stressful no matter what, because you're constantly thinking about your child. You're constantly worrying about your child. You are constantly hoping that their child is okay. And whether they're in the house with you or not in the house with you, you still have the same worries if you're an active and good parent.
Mm-hmm.
So, absolutely. Parenting itself is just not, it's challenging for all involved. And we are, we kind of went over. So we're going to put a period on this conversation.
Because it could go on forever.
Yeah, because we could go on forever.
Right.
Shay, do the thing that you do.
Yes, right. Pay the bills. Check us out on Twitch, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and iHeartRadio. And UBU Radio.
Yes, you catch the replay on Wednesdays on UBU Radio. And as you know, we end every show with a quote. I don't really have a quote. I just want to say something inspiring because it is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. And for those of you who have your mothers here and, maybe have lost a mother, lost your mom, just make sure that you spend time and treasure your mother. Treasure your mother. Be with your mom.
Absolutely. Be with your mom.
Love on her. That's for sure. And Rashay,
call your mother.
Glow that Buick. She ain't going nowhere. She's that 235.
So, guys, we're going to see you next week. Thank you guys for joining us as usual. Peace and love.
See you next time.